girls a big hand. They're so beautiful. How are you? Good afternoon. When my adorable cousin Lauren McElrath asked me to speak today to the beautiful African American girls here, I wondered what to talk about, and I decided to give you a few of the gifts I got from my father to share some of my life experiences and perhaps become a voice in your head. Every Sunday morning, he sat us on the sofa, all four of us lined up. We hated it. We had to read the newspaper if there was something relevant to us. But more importantly, he wanted us to learn how to read out loud, how to look folks in the eye when you're talking to them. Now that's something I notice is missing in our young people today. When they meet me, they hold their heads down, or they just don't look straight at me. They whisper my name and not their full names. My name's Sharonda, with a weak handshake. That weak handshake and the meekness in the voice and non-eye contact screams to me to forget about you as soon as you leave me. If you want to work for me, and many of you have come, not you here, but others have come and said, I would like to work for you, you have to make an impression so that you stand out from the rest. Also, you can't come up saying, Miss Brown, I want to work for you because I'm crazy about R. Kelly and I just want to be with the celebrities. Well, guess what? I don't care. I'm not going to pay you to come and be with the celebrities to do what you want to do. You're not telling me how you can contribute to me, to the business, how I can be important to you. I can do HTML, I can write, I can type, I'm an accountant, I know English, I'm a great journalist. You haven't told me why I should hire you. I'm not going to hire you because you want to be with the stars. So that's not something you should say to me. And a lot of our children don't know what to say when they're looking for a job. This is important to me because I want you to know when you leave here. My dad stressed getting a great education. Now, why is that? Well, he stressed that because without it, you suffer, and you're stifled in your growth and earning power. He told us that with skills, we could get a job anywhere we wanted to work. Now, he said, once you're inside a company, you can see what else there is there for you to do, but you have to get in the door. I was pretty smart in school, but I studied typing and shorthand. That was the thing back then. And I became pretty darn good at that, taking dictation at 120 words per minute and typing at 90 words a minute with less than 5 errors. How did that work out for me? Well, several things happened. First, with education, I studied English abroad, went to school in Stockholm, Sweden. I learned good subject-verb agreement. I don't say I seen him, where you at the end of this preposition. You don't say where you at. But I know kids today, that's what they hear, and that's what they think is correct English. It is not. That's what I listen for when you're speaking to me. I have many, many young people that come up that want to work in the company. But when I hear that, I feel that you don't have good English. You don't know how to convey your thoughts, and it's not good. It's not music to my ears. So I could speak street English, whichever is appropriate at the time. And I could write English very well. Now, how did that help? Well, when I returned to the United States, I applied for a job at Black Entertainment Television. Now, this was interesting. When Bob Johnson first started BET, he wanted pretty people. You couldn't be heavy. You couldn't have big feet. And he just wanted his office to look good, in terms of personality. Well, they couldn't type. They didn't know where to put a period. They put it in the middle of the sentence, a semicolon at the end of the sentence. There was no subject-verb agreement. And so when I came there with the skills that I had acquired, they were so thoroughly impressed. Bob wanted me to work right then and there. They were so much in need of good help. He could dictate a letter to me, and I could correct his English. He's a Princeton graduate, from time to time, but he's a very smart man. Once I got inside BET, I saw what could be done. I worked very hard and positioned myself because I became indispensable to them. I became a producer for BET, met all the stars, and the junior executives who became major music execs, who later became my advertisers in my magazine. They've been very good to me because when they used to bring me their young stars, little Whitney Houston and Babyface and everybody, Usher, I would do whatever to help them market their artists. I had to help them with their jobs. I was in charge of putting on their videos. I didn't say to them, if you slip me some money, I'll put your video on. I didn't do that. I helped them to succeed in their job. And when I started the magazine, they were there to help me. They had become major executives. They had budgets. I called them up, said, I'm getting ready to start this little newsletter. It was a newsletter. And they said, well, Jamie, we're not interested in another music newsletter. Okay, well, okay, how much is it? I said, $1,300. I just made up a price. They said, okay. 2 people said, okay. That was $2,600. That was 20 years ago. And the magazine still continues. I had it, my sons and my husband, they're running it. My father gave me another piece of advice. You have to have a great work ethic. And he taught me about perception. First, you make sure you get the work done when you're at the job. Come early, you leave late, you stand out from the others, get the job done, no excuses, no, well, I had to catch my bus, or my mom didn't pick me up in time and I didn't get here in time. No excuses. Get there. Do the work. And sometimes my writers will say something to me like, well, I called them and they didn't call me back. So I said, am I supposed to put that on the front of the magazine, that you didn't get this interview because you called them and they didn't call me back? That doesn't, no one's going to buy that. I'm not buying it. You don't do that. Get the job done. But what's important about perception? My father used to tell me, Jane, you can be a great worker, but you're in the corner talking all the time and whispering, and your boss is looking at you and saying, Jesus, she's a great worker, she works hard, she works long, but I don't know if I can promote her to this position of confidentiality because she's in the corner all the time with her girlfriends. Perception is everything. This is something that I talk to the young people who work with me. Be careful of how I perceive you. Because Jamie, we want to man the office up in New York. I have an office in Harlem. And my editors came to me, I want to run that office. I said, you can't get to work on time. You do a good job when you get here, but you can't get to work on time. You can't run it. That one thing, you can't get to work on time, so I can't depend on you to open that office when it's supposed to be open. Oh no, I can do it, I'll get to work on time. My perception of you is that you can't do this. So no, you're not the one. Pay attention to how you're being perceived. The other thing he gave me was integrity. Don't steal, because when you steal or take what's not yours, you steal your blessings. Now, I learned that real early on. I was riding on a bicycle when I was a child. It might have been about 10, 11. And I found this big, fat, juicy wallet laying by the side on the curb. And I picked it up and I took it to my father. I could have easily put it in my drawer. Could just stuffed it away. Nobody saw it. Take it. But I gave it to my father. And I said, Dad, I found this. And so he said, let me walk down there and see what's happening. What happened? The woman who had lost it was just beside herself. It was only $65. This was in the 50s. This is a long time ago. But it was her rent. It was her groceries. It was everything. And she had 3 children. And she was so afraid and so scared. And my father said, would you just come with me? And he brought her to our house. And he said, here's your wallet. All the money was in there. And she said, oh, Mr. Foster, I just, can I give your daughter $5? That was a lot of money. $5. He says, no, this is her blessing that she has been able to give back to you. That was a lesson I learned. Now, my sister learned that lesson too. My sister Stella is a top columnist with the Chicago Sun-Times. Now, she has excellent typing and shorthand skills. That's how she got that job. And she worked for Archonette for many, many years, and he passed on. And during the time that she worked for him, two things happened. He was Jewish, and he had something called the Purple Heart Foundation, where they would have this cruise, and they would raise all this money for children, and they would pour money. The Jewish people would just send money in there, with not checks, cash, into her office, into her hands, where nobody was counting that money but her. Her boss didn't know who gave what. It didn't matter. She never took it down. She never took it down. Because if she had, she would have lost her blessings at that time. Because when he died, she took over his job. She's now the #1 columnist at the Chicago Sun-Times, enjoying a wonderful life where she can go anywhere. She pays for nothing because everyone courts her. She was excellent at her job. She protected him as he got dementia and he couldn't remember names or anything. It didn't matter. She was quiet. She was discreet, and she kept his column going. And during that time, because I recognized her talent, I had her start writing for me. And so the Chicago Sun-Times would sometimes see the things that she had written for me, and so they started asking her to write. So it was a natural transition when he died for her to take over his column. Those are the blessings that we've received because of honesty, because of having good skills, a good education, integrity. These things are very important with life lessons, I feel. So we went from being, the only thing we really wanted to be was great secretaries. And now I own a magazine that's worldwide, and she's the top columnist in Chicago. We're like the Dear Abby and Ann Landers, the black Dear Abby and Ann Landers. So the next thing he said to me, you must have a smile and you have to be kind. My father would help us get dressed in the morning. His name is Peter James Foster, by the way. He stressed for his girls to keep their nails clean, smell clean. One morning he helped me to get dressed for work. I had on a black straight skirt, black stockings, black pumps, and as he buttoned up my ruffled white blouse, he said, "You're always smiling. You're going to make some young man happy to see you today." That stuck in my head. People like it when you smile. When you do, it opens them up to you and they embrace you. That's been true for me so far. Folks ask me today why celebrities open up to me to tell me things they don't tell other journalists. This is what separates my magazine, Sister to Sister, from others today. I'm open-chested. I'm kind. And I don't apologize for it. I like it. It suits me just fine. How to choose your mate. Interview your boyfriend, please. Interview his family. Who are you marrying? What do they think about saving money? Church, raising children. What work do they want to do? Is he happy? Is his family happy? Pay attention to that. What are his goals and what are yours? It's not enough that he's cute. I married what you call a nerd. I'm so glad I did. He told me when we dated, what stood out most to him is when he came over to take me on a date, I would not leave my house until my homework was done. He liked that. That was a characteristic he admired in me. I admired that he had compassion. When I met him, he had just broken up from a girlfriend who had treated him pretty badly, but still he felt hurt from hurting her. He didn't call her names or demonize her. That spoke volumes to me about his soul, his character, his capacity to care for others. We've been married almost 40 years now. Years later, he quit his job to help me grow this business, which makes the whole family more well off. Yes, I love those nerds. And don't forget, Bill Gates is a nerd. I didn't marry a cute roughneck, even though I went out with a couple of thugs and everything, but I knew that was not going to be my lot in life. Thank God. Lastly, mediocrity. My parents taught us the value of money, compassion, saving money, appreciation of our blessings. how to listen to others, to seek knowledge. Why is that important? Well, in my business, I see a lot of celebrities who acquire wealth, cars, women, boyfriends, clothes, fame, etc., but they haven't been taught how to keep it. They take it for granted that the fame and fortune will last forever. They are frivolous. Throwing pearls before swine. They go to nightclubs to make it rain. I don't know if you know what that is, where the guys go and throw them at the girls who are dancing naked or whatever. They throw up $30,000, $40,000, just throw it in the air, and everybody's grabbing for that money. Just tossing it away. They're not seeking what to do with their money, how to sustain themselves and their families later. They lose all this. Look at Bobby Brown, someone I love, struggling so hard. He used to make $180,000 a show, 5 or 6 shows a week. He would buy a car and just leave it on the side of the road, a brand new car, just to see what happened to him, which he wouldn't see what happened because he'd be on his way. He was raised in mediocrity because his parents who raised him, they loved him and were loving to him. They didn't know how to give him the gift of discernment and prudence. You know, you just can't settle for mediocrity. You just can't. Not these girls, not what I saw here today. Now, I'm not perfect, don't claim to be, no one is, and I try to do the best I can. I write with the knowledge and skills and the discernment and integrity I've been given. These were just a few of the gifts from my father, Peter James Foster, and my mother, Mamie Lee Foster, who were so sweet. She was so sweet. I used to tell her, Mom, you're just made out of sugar and butter. I just can make a pound cake out of you. It's so wonderful. I just want you to remember good work, good ethics, get a skill, get a smile, great education, kindness. It goes so far. Integrity, seek knowledge, and don't make boys your major. Did I say that? Now, wait a minute. Did I leave that out? That was number one. That was the first thing my father taught us. You know, you're sitting on a gold mine. You don't let everybody go digging in it. You keep your dress tail down and your panties up. If a boy tells you, well, I bought you a ring. We engaged now. We might as well have sex and be like married. Because just like we married. He said, I did that. He said, I go out there and buy that ring for $8 and put it on her finger. He said, you don't listen to that. Don't make boys your major. Make you your major. Okay? I use the gifts from my father throughout my life, and I thank him and my mom every day for sharing them with me. Now I share them with you. Because in the Bible, Luke 6:38, it says, give and it will be given to you. And I want to be a voice in your head. I thank my adorable cousin Lauren, Miss Baker, the Archonette, Zeta Phi Beta Incorporated, for allowing me to share with you today. It's just another blessing I've been given. Thank you so much.